this is a Global Digest think tank group. We are
Yes,
podcasting about global issue and regional issue around the
yes,
world with the various professor, expert, diplomat, and all
yeah,
these people. In that way, we contribute our experience to the people around the world. So
yeah.
before we talk about ESCWA, why don't you please introduce
Okay.
to our audience?
So I'm Ms. Radia Sedawi. My background is industrial engineering and petroleum economics and management as well. I have more than 20 years in the energy sector, and I've been working in the oil and gas industry till joining then the UN system in 2016 as the Chief Energy and Climate Change and Natural Resource Sustainability at the Regional Commission of Western Asia, the UN ESCWA based in Beirut. As part of the Secretariat of the UN system, looking to support the ESCWA region, mainly 20 Arab countries located in the MENA region, so North Africa, the Mashriq, and the GCC, and the least developed countries in Africa, but also in Yemen, for example. So our region is diverse, and my
Right,
portfolio is looking into policies, projects, and capacity building for our member states.
right. So you're based in Lebanon. That is a head office or just a regional
It is the
office?
head, yeah, it is the head office of the regional commission, but we do have a regional office in Jordan, which is nearby, which is a center for technology. But we are opening a new centers as well in other places in the region.
ESCWA, what is the long form?
ESW, it's the economic, the social, okay, Western Asia. So initially it was supposed just for the Western Asia countries, and then basically they included all the Arab countries, including those in Africa.
Which means West Asia, including Arab countries and Northern Africa countries.
Yes, exactly.
So it means Arabic language based region. We can say like that.
Yeah, we can say that. Yes.
Nice. So Lebanon is a head office for Arab country, or is it
For the ESCWA, for the Regional Commission ESCWA. Yeah.
only for ESCOR office,
Only
not
for
not
ESCWA.
not
Yeah, there are
not other UN office, right?
no, there are too many UN offices, but as a regional entity, we have all kind of UN agencies here,
In different
as we know
country.
them. Different, yes. So no, the national entities. So you have the World Bank, you have UN agencies, UN Habitat, UNDP, and so on. But UNESCO is the regional office for the Arab region, so it's the one that is the headquarters.
Most Asian regional office is based in Bangkok. There are many
Yes,
UN
yes. It's
UN regional
similar.
office.
Yeah, it's for example, so Lebanon tried to have more regional offices in Beirut, and it's quite similar to ESCAP based in Beirut, in Bangkok. It's exactly the same duties and the same organization like ESCAP.
So Lebanon is becoming regional office for West Asia,
Exactly.
or is then Turkey or Saudi Arabia, UAE. It's no
Yes.
competition. They don't
Uh,
want to be head office in their country.
no, we do have the ESCWA used to be started first in how would say that in Baghdad in Iraq, and then moved to Lebanon, and then moved
I
to
see.
Jordan, and then now it's just here. So this is but yeah, there will be other offices soon, but in other fields like the one in Jordan in technology.
Back then is because of during
Yes,
war.
the conflict.
That's
Yeah,
why it's moved to Lebanon, right?
exact. Yeah. I'm Algerian. I'm Algerian.
Right.
I'm
That's
Algerian.
I
Yes,
remember.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Algeria speak Arabic, right? Lebanon speak Arabic.
Yes, yes, yes. We by origin they were not Arab, but with the religion and so on, they tried to. So the Arabic language is the first language in Algeria and in actually in all the North African countries.
I see. So you
Yeah.
can that is good point in West Asia. We can say those Arab country you have common language, you know.
Yes.
In East Asia we have problem. We don't have common language. Every country has different
Yeah.
language, and we don't have common language in the region. So it is difficult for communication.
Yeah.
Only English
Yeah.
as international language. China,
Mm.
many country we don't use China, like Korea, Japan, and many
Yeah.
South Asia, they don't use. Only
But there
Chinese
are
is
certain,
used in
yeah.
China. Sure.
Yeah, but do you think the language is a problem? I think there are we can still have regional collaboration even if we have different languages,
Of
as
course,
long as we
of
have
course.
interest. Yeah, so I think this what is helpful in the Asian continent,
Yeah,
whether there is a regional electricity market, there is regional energy markets, which basically I think everybody would agree that there is a potential in that.
of course, there are many things we can do and collaborate in the region. There are many issues, but language is not the main thing, you know. Language
Yeah.
is just part of communication, but I'm not sure in other country. I think many other region also they don't have common language. I think except for Arab, even Europe, you know, is diverse
Yeah.
languages.
There
They
is
don't have
language. But does it mean they
common.
don't have regional language?
But Arab country use only Arab language. That is
No, they use French or English as well, and
really
other languages like Amazigh, which is a formal language in like in the Maghreb, like Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, and Libya as well. But the Arabic language is spoken sometimes different, except the formal one, which is common. But technically speaking, like in the North African, they do speak French as well because they were colonized by France. So if I meet Moroccan or Tunisian, we can speak directly in French easily. This is common in most of the cities, actually, including in the energy sector. It's much more convenient. They do not necessarily speak English. When in the GCC, it's mostly English spoken in the sector. So it all depends on the sector. If it's generic, people
right.
would use the formal Arabic, yes.
Maybe Iran they use Persian language, right? They are not Arab.
But they are not part, yeah, but they are not part of our portfolio, but yes, yes.
And Israeli they don't use Arabic, I guess.
Yes, it depends. It depends.
So Israeli, Iran,
But
they
also
don't use
it's not in
Arabic.
yeah, but they are not part, they are not part of our portfolio. We just have the Arab countries, that's it.
I see. What about Turkey?
Yeah. Also, we don't have them in our portfolio, but we do have Turkey people working with us.
I see. Turkey use their own Turkey language, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, many
Yes.
you use Arab language, but a few countries they don't use Arab, right? In the region.
Yes.
I see. So in that case, you have to use international language, English, or you know something else, French or something else.
Yeah.
So related to ESCWA, how your role is in climate issue.
It's an integral part of my work because I lead the energy portfolio and I lead it from the climate change mitigation, but also climate change the co-benefits in relation to the water sector, the agricultural sector, the biodiversity, and part of facilitating the discussion with also between the Arab member states when it comes to the negotiation, but we don't interfere. But it's our work is my work is directly linked to first building the capacity, and number two, it's policy advice in terms of the green transition, the system enabling the just inclusive energy transition, looking how to upscale investment in climate finance and how to attract climate finance to the region, but also looking to the implementing field projects like renewable energy project or energy efficiency project by different sector, and looking also to the carbon management market as well.
It seems you manage many sector. How many sector belong to you?
They are all linked to the energy because they cannot speak on topic without they are all interrelated. So you cannot adjust part of, but the added value because I came from the oil and gas sector. So I've done the whole process, the whole value chain to the hydrogen and so on in my work experience. And they worked in the European markets, the African markets, but also Latin American markets and Asia, and then that I moved to the Global Organization Gas, so it helps also to have global exposure, then to the UN system. So it's
so your role is mainly energy sector, right?
Energy sector and climate change are the nexus with between energy, water, and the food. So this is some and biodiversity. So I implemented projects where we see also the interlinkages, how to optimize the water use using renewable energy, how also to adjust the synergies between the different sectors, whether at policy, but also at the implementation level, because this is a really critical. And we tried also to work with the youth, the young people, because they are the ones who drive the energy transition, the climate actions. So we try really to work on like supporting capacity building for vocational training or for students, but also another aspect, sometimes we work also with policy, most of the time, with policymakers, and not only in the energy, but also energy, water, agriculture, and so, because everything is interlinked. You cannot work just in one sector without working with all of them.
Recently, I saw on the news, I guess Saudi Arabia, they warning about energy sector. It will be a problem in energy sector, and the production of energy is very low, something like that. So, well, how do you see this energy issue in
No, you are referring
nowadays?
to the you are referring to the oil markets and the gas markets, certainly because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It led that specifically that we started the winter season. And obviously the European market is suffering because they depend heavily on the Russian gas, and specifically that some of them did embargo on them. So it made that they had really a serious problem of energy poverty and energy security currently. And at the same time, the OPEC member states cannot do more than they can because they cannot produce more, because technically speaking, you need to invest, you need to have high prices in order to be able to invest to sell the market. So technically speaking, also there are others who take benefit of the situation in order to whether be it's like certain I would say traders in the Asian market, they may take their, for example, gas and sell in European markets in order to gain the difference price, for example. So you have always those who take profits, which are most of the time traders that are not the fundamentals like Saudi or OPEC member state, for example. They are not part of that, and that's why it makes pressure on the oil and gas producers in the region. So technically speaking, the oil and gas producers in the region, they always try to stabilize the market, but you have always those who take benefit of the situation. And this was predicted that the European countries need to upscale their investment in the renewable energy and energy efficiency and hydrogen and other alternatives, and to diversify the energy portfolio and to collaborate more with others and not just to think about themselves. So the African continent, if it has to support the European energy markets, then the European countries need effectively to invest in the African continent, help to build their capacity, help to create stability in these countries, because they will continue relying on them in the digitalization. So this is it should be a win-win situation.
So you mean the Saudi and other oil producer country, they don't want to produce a lot of oil. In fact, there is a big demand, you know, there is a big market.
No, it's not they don't want to produce. That you have a limitation of what you can produce. You have your capacity. You have your capacity of investment. and you cannot
see.
produce when others are taking it to storage, for example. So
I
this
see.
is the situation,
I see.
what it is. But they cannot do more than that because we had
But
COVID, and COVID impacted all countries, all investments.
so you said they have limited, but they reduced the production than before, you know, because
Yeah,
it
you cannot.
means
Why you produce something to give it to others to store it in?
I see.
I
So
give you an example of certain Asian traders who took the gas, sold from Qatar or elsewhere, and they sold it in the European market to take benefits. So you are talking about certain private sector small traders who are making this big story in the market, which basically, technically speaking, it's not the
of
the
course,
stability is not made by the fundamentals, because the fundamentals, they are major players like Saudi Arabia and others who have a clear vision and strategy, and they need to invest because you don't have the unlimited spare capacity. You cannot just produce, and when you cannot produce, it's as simple as that.
of course, there are many business company, you know, they are businessmen like or reproducer, refining like company in Singapore, South Korea. They brought it and they refine it and they sell it again, something like that.
Very good.
But
Yes.
that most Saudi Arabia and oil producer country, they dislike such kind of business because they want certain agreement with all these user, the customer, their oil.
Yeah, you
Is
need
it something
stability
like
in your
that?
market. Yeah, you need stability in your market. I mean, it's
I
if
see.
your economy depend on that, you need to have stability, and stability is made by from the supply and demand. It cannot be just on the supply side.
I
And yeah, so it's need to have open dialogue and trust as well. And technically speaking, if now Europe need much more energy, they need also to invest as well.
So it means the oil producer country, they want all the oil user, all the customer has certain a kind of agreement or a kind of a deal between producer and the customer has to stable the you know oil market. So they want
Yeah.
European or American. What kind of agreement they want in detail?
I cannot give you this kind of information because this is depend on country specific. It's very specific, and each country has its own, and you have the country. It's not a country agreement; it's a market agreement. Be it for oil and gas, they are different. The market is different. The agreement are different. The clauses are different, and the duration are different. It depends on where they were done and to whom, the quality of the project, be it oil or petroleum project or gas. Technically speaking, none agreements is similar to another.
Isn't
This is what it is.
about the price? I guess European can willing to pay what oil producer demand the price, isn't it?
No, they are not
It's not
willing
the
to pay the
price.
price. They don't have the, no, they don't say they are willing to diversify the sources. They need certain quality. That's why they need more gas for heating. And at the same time, they are not, they are not willing to pay the whole price because there are several taxes that European countries add to petroleum project, which make the price very high for them. Like if we take a petroleum project for refined for transportation, for cars, you may find like 70%. It used to be as taxes additional the European countries put, which made it difficult. So basically, you cannot put this on under the oil producer because technically speaking, the oil producer would sell its exit of his country.
I see.
So there are a lot of considerations, and technically speaking, it's case by case, but generally speaking, it's the gas and oil, they are not the same. The only difference that gas is most of the time indexed to the oil market prices, and that's why specifically if it's a long term or medium term, but especially in the European market, which make it which make the add to the difficulty for the European countries to handle that. So this is basically about the geopolitics. But I think it's a long debate. I cannot speak
Right.
on that now. But yeah.
Which means some kind of disagreement between the producer and the buyer, right? A kind of quality. Who control, I mean, the market, the buyer or the producer? Or...
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't work like that. It depends if we are talking about the oil market or the gas market. It's not the same. If we are talking about which market actually we are talking about, European, Asian, they are not the same. The US market now is not the same. It's you have the paper market and so on. So there's nothing that we can say. It's really specific at the end of the day.
I see.
And it depends where you stand. Yeah.
I see. Of course, there are variety of market: American market, European market, Asian market. So, you know, the buyer will be always want cheaper price, and the producer will want always higher price, and the buyer want a good quality, you know, always. So I don't know oil market. I'm not expert on that. That's why I'm asking you how, who usually in market, there is a player, you know, the buyer play the market or the producer play the market in the field of oil. I don't know. Saudi Arabia and most Arab countries, they have more oil resources or they have limited gas resources. What is the more capacity of resources?
No, the Arab countries, especially on the GCC and the North African, like Algeria and Libya, they do have oil and gas resources, and Iraq as well. It's just question of the time of development, the investment needed, the technology. So that's why it's not as simple as that. It's not linear. It's something that depends on each country capacity and the cost of production. Like Saudi Arabia certainly is cheaper than Algeria, for example. The same Qatar is cheaper than Algeria, as an example, or Libya. North African countries are Arab countries already. I'm saying that North African countries are also Arab countries. I said the GCC and some of the Arab countries in North Africa, like Algeria and Libya. Libya is well known in the African continent. They have 2/3 of the reserves in the oil, for example. Algeria also in terms of gas, mostly. But the GCC have tremendous capacities globally in terms of the oil. For example, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, and Kuwait.
GCCF mean Gulf country.
Gulf countries, yeah.
They have more oil.
Oil and gas.
They have
depend on which country we are speaking.
I see.
Depend on which countries. Like Algeria, it's mostly the gas. Libya is mostly oil.
I see. So all those countries, they have both oil and gas, right?
Yeah, but they don't have the capacity to invest, the technology to invest, and they have a population to grow, and they have political instability, which make it difficult that it's not push the bottom. It's not well that you just want to have oil and gas. It's very complicated, the oil and gas sector. And it's about the sovereign right of each country, and then what's this for? I mean, for the people and for the development of the nations.
Today, how this oil crisis and those oil problems, the producer side and the buyer side, the quality of oil and the stability of oil producer country, how your role as ESCWA play for those things, to solve those things, because your sector is energy sector, right? Because UN must play a role.
No, I already informed that our work is to support our member states in the SCOA region, which are the Arab countries, in order to enable the just, inclusive energy transition, in order to promote much more investment in renewable energy efficiency, hydrogen, and to support the use of the natural resources in order to support the economic development and the social inclusion in the region through capacity building, policy advice, and project implementation. The failure, I said, there is no failure because you do your best effort to support the member states. And it depends on the commitment. It depends on the stability in the region in order to work with them, and it depends on the resources we have. That's it.
So you are
That's what I have to say.
you are still work hard and you are trying to solve those problems. It's not yet
There's
any.
nothing. If we don't have a problems, then the world will stop running.
Yes, because every time there is problem, you know. So you have to keep working. You need to work a lot, right? Because there are many problems.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you, Radia.